So let's pull off of that and look at some techniques that you can use actually in the work environment. One of them is pronoun use. This was a really fun aside that I learned in a master's class. Had nothing to do with the topic we were on. The professor just decided to share from his experience. And what he found in his practice is if we listen to each other's pronoun use in our general discussion, we can actually get an idea of generally where a person is developmentally. He identified that there's two different developmental levels. You have a chronological age, or not development, but two ages. You have a chronological age, then you have a developmental age. In the substance abuse field, what we typically find is you have folks that are chronologically in their 30s or their 40s or their 50s, but they're behaving back where their trauma was. So if their trauma was in their teenage years, they're actually behaving in many ways like a stuck teenager back where the trauma happened. Or you'll hear certain use of words that are indicative of adolescent age, like mommy and daddy, when they speak about their parents. Those are terms that little kids use. And as we mature, we tend to move into mom or dad. We might even be moved to a point where we're actually calling our parents by their names, depending on where that maturity is. And he found that over time, if you have a person in their general pronoun use that uses you, them, and they, outward projecting pronouns, what it's indicative of is that developmentally, they're stuck somewhere about 4 to 6 years old. Now, you have to keep this in context because if you're in an interview and you say, please tell me about your job experience, a person is specifically going to use pronouns in that context. So keep in mind, this is just our general day-to-day use. A person who generally uses I and me as their pronoun use, developmentally, regardless of their chronological age, something happens in their teen years and they're stuck right there where I and me become our dominant pronoun use. It's very normal at that age. But in our general pronoun use, it's not really the most appropriate pronoun use as we mature. As we mature, what we tend to move into is we, us, and our, because we get to a level where we recognize the need and the interdependency of each other. Yes, I'm an individual, but I cannot do it all. I need you. You have skill sets that I don't have. I have skill sets that you don't have. So let's work together. They are together-oriented pronouns in the workplace.